Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the brand new Galaxy Fold. I've had mine for a week now and I've been using it as a daily driver. So what I want to share with you guys is my week recap with all of the good things, the bad things, my concerns. Am I going to keep it? Am I going to return it? And of course, what are the things that are entailed? What are your compromises about owning a device not only this expensive, but with this form factor? This is TK. Let's check it out. And subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we have new videos on the channel. So this is the brand new Galaxy Fold. This is the the Cosmos Black unlocked US carrier version, which meaning it's a 4G model, not the 5G model that you can get either in Asia or in Europe. The main thing obviously as far as specifications is to get it right out of the box there. It's running the Snapdragon 855. It has 12 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of internal storage that are UFS 3.0, some of the fastest ones that we have on the market. We have a 4,380 milliamp battery, and that's supported basically by quick charging that is included in the box. Although they don't include fast charging, they just have the adaptive charging that we've had with like previous, I want to say like 2018 style charging, or even like the S10 line of devices. I'm surprised at the price point that they just did not include the 45 watt or even the 25 watt that comes with the brand new Note 10. So that's one of my gripes, but again, that's something that you can forgive them. It does have wireless charging as well as reverse wireless charging on the back. A triple camera setup at 212 and a 16, and 10 megapixel sensor on the front, as well as a 10 and an 8 on the front here for the inside of the display. We have face unlock, a fingerprint sensor on the right side, volume rocker, and a power/Bixby button. Once you configure it, you're able to configure it to work the exact same way. Always on display, obviously live wallpaper on the lock screen, all of the stuff that you normally like. Very nice, very fast UI. What I have here essentially is basically Nova Prime running on top of this, and it is configured to run on the inside as well as the outside display. So you're able to enjoy any kind of custom launcher on top of the fact that you can use the One UI launcher that's built in. So latest and greatest specifications, a 4.6-inch display on the inside that transforms into a 7.3-inch display on the inside. So the difference between the two is lower resolution 720p on the front and a higher resolution internal display. Both OLED, both look amazing. But as far as just what you're going to use, in my experience of using this device, literally 99% of the time, you're going to open it up and you're going to use the internal display. That's just how it is. The outside one is not that it's bad, it's just too small and it's too restricting. I mean, using Instagram here just looks very, very small. It's very thin. It's not even the same size as a standard phone that we normally use. That was always my biggest gripe about this, is it doesn't provide us a standard experience when it's closed. It literally makes you or begs you to always do this. It's an amazing experience. There's no question about it. I love having the ability of doing this, enjoying my Instagram, enjoying my Twitter feed, the ability of opening up any application I want to interact with at a much bigger, much better, much crisper looking display and quality of images. I mean, you can actually look at these images and enjoy exactly how they look. I mean, you can look at the grains on that piece of muffin right there. Very, very nice. YouTube looks amazing. The stereo speakers that we have here at the top and bottom just sound fantastic. Let's go ahead and play this video. I have an automatic sensor here that it switches over, so I can actually do this as many times as I... And the main benefit, of course, is you can do all of these things on the outside display. So let's go ahead and close the device. I'll go ahead and open it up from here. Let's unlock it, and let's open up YouTube one more time. The device looks great, but... And the cool thing is, if let's say I open an app here, and let's say I open up another app here, I can actually switch between these apps, go back as many times as I want. It looks great and you can see it, but the reality is, would you rather watch a video in this form factor or watch it in this form factor? The continuity works great. It doesn't cover all applications, but it does work. So for me, this device literally begs you to open it and use it in the full form factor. So just be aware, even though we have two displays, it literally focuses, or the best experience is always going to be on the inside display. Now, the inside display has a nice few options here. So the Recents app here, you can notice I have a few things open. Let's say we open up YouTube on the side here. I can swipe from the right and I can open up Chrome, and I can do the exact same thing one more time. Let's say I want to go in here, we'll go into other applications, and let's say we want to open up American Airlines. So I'll go ahead and open American Airlines. It'll open up right there. YouTube opens on the side. I can still play my video. And of course I can swipe here, update, and do whatever I want. And of course, when I'm done, swipe it away and still use it. We still have the ability of using pop-up application, and I think if I want to be able to open up Bix here, so you can open it up in pop-up view, you can open it up as a window, and you can notice right there when I close it, I can actually hit home. It becomes a little button. You can interact with it. You can open it. You can either make it bigger or smaller. And of course, let's click on it again. You can make it bigger, smaller, or just close it. It works great. It's amazing for multitasking, reading email, replying to email, watching videos, doing everything on this is just absolutely fantastic. Now, where are some of my concerns in here and the way things that you want to keep in mind as far as functionality is where it becomes basically functional in the car when you're outside and using it. So if you've ever used maps, obviously, more than likely, if you've had a smartphone, you've used maps at some point or another. You can open it up, you can interact with it, you can go in and look in basically anywhere you want to do. You can initiate a map, you can look for things and do things. The problem where this becomes a little bit not as functional as your standard phone or your normal phone is this device is very heavy. And keep in mind, when I'm talking heavy, this is literally like holding two phones on top of each other. Keep in mind, it's the thickness of two phones. Most case holders or most phone holders on the market are not intended for this. So you end up having to put your phone in a cup holder or something that's a little bit more ruggedized, because your standard phone holder, if you put it in and it has any kind of hinge mechanism, at least for me, keeps popping down and I can't put that in there. So using maps in this form is not very functional. So let's say TK, well, you know what, TK, you could use it in the open form. Well, you're right. I can use it in the open form and it looks even better on the open form. But guess what? No phone holder supports this. Tablet holders maybe, but no phone holder does. You can't put this propped anywhere in your car to be able to use it while you're driving as your maps. So if you don't have Google Maps or Android Auto or something like that, and you're normally using this device to navigate, to use it as a map navigation, unfortunately this form factor kind of throws it out of the window. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is just the durability of this device. This is not a glass device. This is basically, the display itself is what you're touching. The flexible display, the OLED panel, is what you're touching and you're interacting with. And they'd recommend you not to put too much pressure, as well as not using your nails or even using a pen input so you don't damage it, as it can get damaged. So at $2,100 or almost $2,200, the display is definitely one of the most sensitive pieces, and obviously why we have this clamshell design to protect it. The outside display does not have that same issue. The inner display is the only one that has this. Samsung in the US, if you buy your device before the end of 2019, will offer you one-time replacement for $150 for the display. Now what that means essentially is that if you damage it within a year after you buy it, before the end of this year if you buy it, they'll replace it once for you for $150, but it doesn't actually cover everything else. That's just the display. I'm not sure as far as how the warranty and everything works for you, but if you're going to pick up this device, my recommendation is either get a protection plan or make sure you have a warranty or service care plan from Samsung that enables you to at least cover the device in case any damage happens there. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is obviously, we talked about the case, obviously the usability in the car outside, but I also want to talk to you guys about this case. The case that comes with the Galaxy Fold. Again, at that price, I feel like it's more of an aesthetic case, almost like a skin, not really a case. It's a carbon fiber looking case. It has the logo on it. And what you're getting here essentially is a case that provides you almost no protection. Look how thin this thing is. I ended up picking up this case straight from Spigen, and this is a much better, much more ruggedized case, much harder plastic, much harder, and able to absorb protection, well, able to absorb hits and protect the device. But the reason why I want to share this with you guys is, so the camera the outside cameras, the 212s and the 16 have a hump. You can definitely see it right there. The case they provide us doesn't actually cover it entirely. It keeps the hump there. You're still actually able to see the camera lenses actually popping up a little bit. So although it makes it a little bit more flush, it doesn't actually provide protection for the optics. And that basically drove me crazy the first few days till I was able to find this from Spigen. It's about $30. I'll give you guys a link to that in the description below, and they ship pretty quickly. I actually got it within a couple of days. Gives us still access to the fingerprint sensor, everything else, but now raises the actual cover over. It does make it a little bit thicker, but it provides the protection that we want. And of course, definitely allows us to see the color of our device. This is the basically the Cosmos Black, and there is a silver one, so you're definitely able to enjoy it. And it doesn't cover the hinge here, because when we open up the device, obviously it needs to be able to do this mechanism. So very, very nice. The display will always be a fingerprint magnet. Just be aware, you're always going to have to carry a chamois. It's not IP rated. It does not have any kind of water or dust resistance, so you're always going to need to keep it clean. I don't know if you can kind of see this right there, but on top of the fact that we have massive, galore fingerprints here, it actually does collect dust with cases, so you have to be aware to keep it clean, especially on the display. So keep handy a nice little chamois with you in the pocket, a nice clean chamois. And of course, when you're cleaning it, do not put too much pressure. Just go all over the display, go cover it, everything. And then when you're done, just go ahead and close it. and your device is ready. Even playing games like this, Monument Valley is just absolutely fantastic. The ability of having the great stereo speakers on top of the fact of having a massive display just makes it absolutely enjoyable. So you can see right there, the images, the clarity, the sound, very, very nice. Playing games on this there's just no comparison as far as the form factor, but also the capabilities. The only thing I would say is that over time, I'm actually kind of worried that when you're playing games, you're actually having to tap on the display. I always worry about tapping too much, but it's very responsive. There's no latency issues, and it works great. Let's talk about basically usability on a weekly basis. So 9 times out of 10, I have this device in my pocket, and again, I just basically, whenever I'm using it, I'm always opening up, so you always have to be comfortable with that. Remember about closing and opening it there, and again, Instagram looks fantastic in here. You can basically go in there, take pictures, open up the camera, and using the camera is just, there's just no way to explain it. I don't know if anybody would ever want to use a camera in this form factor. So let's go ahead and open up the camera. This is the standard form factor on the outside part of the display. You are able to basically use the triple camera back cameras, the main cameras, the wide, standard, and of course telephoto. And of course, if you switch over to the front, you have a single camera here that's providing you the front-facing display camera. You're able to take 4K at 30 frames per second on this one, 60 frames per second on this one. But it's when you do this, when you open it up to the full display and you get to see yourself entirely when you're taking a picture, even when you're trying to switch over and actually using basically the back sensors. We have the ability of using the super steady functionality, the 16:9 aspect video, that's why it's cropped right there. We're able to switch over to super slow-mo, hyperlapse, and of course you can edit the order that you have all of these things and go into settings and customize the different experience on both the front-facing and the back-facing camera lens on this display, or on this device, I would say. So the overall experience of using this device for the last week it's been basically a positive experience. It's gotten better, and I'm gonna say that the first couple of days I was very anxious. I was very worried about where to put the device. Do I open it? Do I keep it closed? I wasn't even putting it in my pocket. I was carrying it the whole time. And I think that partially was attributed to the fact that the case that comes with it is not really a case. It's more of a cover, to just be aware of that. Once I got this case from Spigen for the device, I started to feel a little bit better. The protection level is definitely much higher, and that's what I'm usually used to seeing on a phone. I like to protect my investments. I do understand phones are a losing investment. You lose money the moment you buy it, but it's an investment. $2,200 is a lot of money. So if you're gonna buy a phone like this, get a case. If you're going to buy a phone like this, get a protection plan. That's the other thing that if I do decide to keep this phone, I will definitely be doing. Either I'll pick it up straight from Best Buy, as they offer me a certain grace period to be able to pick it up, or I can get it straight from, as far as I actually remember, I think Samsung offers it when you register it. You could just add that as a second plan. So just be aware, get a protection plan in case something happens. That $150 for a one-time replacement is great for the inside display, but it doesn't cover anything else on the phone. So I'm not sure with the rest of the warranty, and if they will honor, let's say if the mechanism starts failing, the sound or whatever, it says creaking, just be aware. Again, I like the fact that I got the unlocked model, because then I get to use it on either AT&T or T-Mobile in the US, but I can also use a local SIM whenever I'm traveling internationally, which, as you guys see on this channel, I do quite a bit. So very happy, very nice to see that, and I think Samsung definitely has a win. It is not IP rated, just be aware, you do definitely need to be a little bit more cautious with this device. But other than that, it's going to give you the best experience. Again, like I said, nothing like having the ability of basically opening up Instagram and going straight into the way the images were supposed to basically be seen. Like you can see right there, Kirby right there, just looks absolutely fantastic. Going into watching videos, doing things with it, just really, really nice. Just make sure you carry a chamois with you, because you do need to take off those fingerprints as well as the dust. Again, no dust rating here. So just something to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Again, this is just something that I decided to pick up to share with you guys what I feel about. And I really recommend you, if you haven't made a decision or you really don't know what do you think about this phone, go into either a, let's say, Best Buy or a Samsung Experience store, whichever is closest to you, and ask to try it out, use it and see how it works, and then make a decision. That's the best way really to understand how it feels to use a phone like this and how good it is to use a phone like this. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and thank you for all the new subscribers on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.